G'day guys, how you going? Tone here from BEEFitUP Australia with Let's Get Rural and Australian Horizons Foundations. I've got Jeff here at the Courthouse Hotel out here at Jamieson. So how are you, mate?
Good, mate.
Beautiful.
Yep.
And we picked a very strange day for the Jamieson community, didn't we?
Absolutely.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? There was a bit of a rumble going on this morning.
Yeah, we were the epicentre of the earthquake this morning, which certainly frightened daylights out of me. I've never been frightened. I'm not that sort of person, but this morning I was. So
yeah, right.
Plus a few aftershocks were pretty heavy. So yeah, but everything's good. There's just a bit of smash stuff and nothing major, no one hurt. So,
yeah, right. Yeah. And that's the main thing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And we heard word from inside earlier that the people who are working in the mine, there wasn't any dramas there.
No, they got them out pretty quick, but there was no one hurt there. But that's generally up here. That's everyone's first worry.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yep.
So we're here at the pub, usually the hub, the centre of a town.
Yep.
Obviously it's definitely the biggest establishment here by a long way. It probably takes up half the main street.
Yep, it does.
Can you tell us a little bit about the pub and what it means to the community around here?
Yeah, look, the pub was built, I think it was about 150 years ago. About the same, the old magnolia that was planted out the front there, that's 150 years old.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's burnt down twice, I think twice or 3 times.
Not the tree, the pub.
No, the pub.
Yeah, okay.
And the tree, which is more historical, has survived all that.
Oh, fantastic.
So, and you're talking about the part of the pub right close to the magnolia. That part burnt right to the ground. So for the magnolia to survive that, that's just incredible.
It's done pretty well.
Bit of an old girl of the town. So.
Resilient. There you go.
Yep.
Okay, so more about the area. So Jamieson, we're out in the hills here.
Yep.
It's just a small population.
Oh yeah, it's about 260, I think there is.
Yep.
Permanent residents in the holiday periods. That changes to that can go up to probably 500 to 800.
Yep.
Very quickly with the holiday houses and everything in town.
Beautiful.
Jamieson's one of those places that's can be little known. If you don't come here, a lot of people go to Mansfield or they ski on Lake Eildon or they go to Mount Buller. We're just down that little bit further.
And it is, it's not far, and it's a beautiful little drive, I must admit, going over a few bridges, and I think that's Lake Eildon and the river and that type of stuff on the right hand side. Definitely check it out.
Yep.
But one of the draw cards you told me about earlier that a lot of people do with their kids, especially with the pub here, that it's right central with the river sort of horseshoeing around it.
Yep.
I came to Jamieson when I was probably about 12, I think, with a mate, and I didn't remember too much, but when you told me the story of you just put the kids at one end of the river and then
walk down the bottom there, and you can sit down with a few beers and wait for them to pull up down the bottom.
That's fantastic, isn't it? That's what brings people to these little towns. And
it is, but it's the best part about it, the locals have got all the houses on the river all the way around. So during summer especially, the locals are watching. So you can almost guarantee that the kids are 100% safe. You know what I mean? So and it is. I wish. My kids were a bit old when I came here, and I wished I brought them here when I was younger. So,
bloody oath.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit more about the area. What's the other draw cards? Why would you come here apart from some beautiful mountains and I think some dirt bike riding?
It's got some of the best dirt bike riding tracks and four-wheel drive tracks in Australia. We had the boys.
Jeez, that's a big call.
Oh, there is. We had the boys from 4x4 Australia or something they're called. They're based in Queensland. They came all the way down here and they did a show in the pub and they were staggered. They were only supposed to stay here for one night film. They were here for 4 days.
Oh, fantastic.
And that's like, for them to be impressed with the area is a big one. And I'm not a four-wheel drive sort of person, but I don't mind going out, but I'm not a four-wheel drive.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
You're not totally cashing it out. Yes, But if someone says you've got one there, I'll come for a ride.
Exactly.
But you don't want to do it yourself.
No, I'll take a beer and let them do the action.
Yes, that's it.
And you've got fishing, you've got there's so many old mines around here that the locals will take you to quite freely. They'll just take you for a walk up or around.
Might have to take them up on that, I think.
Yeah, there's one of the guys in the bar at the moment. He's very good at the mines. He knows, And you got all the old towns, Gaffney's Creek, like over the mountain there. You got Enoch's Point, Big River. It's just an amazing place to drive around and have a look. And I'm serious with this. People come here once, they keep coming back. They'll always keep coming back.
I could definitely see that. Yeah, for sure. Just walking down the main drag, it's got that old heritage feel about it. Like you can tell every tree is a lot older than everyone's grandpa that's out there, you know. And it is. It's a very beautiful place. So
the funny thing about the town, especially at the moment since COVID started, we're having a lot of deer come into town.
Oh, okay.
And you be laying in bed of a night.
Over the bar?
No, not allowed to do that. I wish we could, but we're not allowed. A lot of them just walking through the town. We've got an old kangaroo that lives behind one of the blocks here in town, and he's getting a little bit grumpy, so I don't know how long he's going to last, but it's an amazing place. It's just an old place. It's just a beautiful place.
Beautiful. And you've got, from what I can tell, plenty of accommodation here for people as well?
We've got 21 rooms. They vary from queen bedrooms to bunk bedrooms. Then you can have the double bedrooms with a single with a young child and things like that, family rooms. It's funny, in summer it doesn't get used a lot. We do get people in, but everyone, because of the beauty in the area, want to camp. They just want to get out to camp. And that's fantastic.
And how far is that from, say, the pub here? It's all walking distance?
Oh, pretty much. The caravan park's only 100 metres down the road there. The nearest camping grounds, the free ones are probably, say, 10 minutes one way, 10 minutes the other. And they've got toilets, they've got all the fire pits, they've got everything there, they're well maintained.
Lovely.
And like I said, during summer, they fill up very quickly, very quickly.
And you're walking distance to the river, basically in every direction as well, and it's beautiful, crystal clear
water,
isn't it? So get amongst that for sure. So inside, I've noticed in the pub, there's a lot of sort of ornaments and that type of stuff on the walls, and you know, there's stuff about. I think there's been a couple of fires at this hotel over the last 150 years, which is interesting to have a look at. What's your favourite feature that you've got in your pub that you go, that's what I like to show people? Have you got something there?
Yeah, it's probably the signs to Woods Point, Mount Buller, the whole lot of that. I know it's probably, you see it in a few pubs, but just here, they all point in the right direction, and it's, The kids love the deer in there, but you know, they've got to be picked up.
I did see that up on the wall,
there's a few of them in there. The big old pig, they get a bit scared of him, but
So where we're sitting at the moment, we're out the back where it's a little bit more quieter. This building right here, what was this built for?
This was built for the hot rod run. They had a big hot rod run that had gone for 16 odd years, and there were so many people that they had to extend out here. This was called this is still called the woodshed. And people come out here and dine, and it's built perfectly by Ben Tweedley, who's an absolute ripper. And
beautiful.
But it was the town people and Ben and that got together and built it for nothing. So, and it was to sort of help out.
Well, that's what community is, though, isn't it? Especially in small towns, getting together and just helping people out. So around the area, obviously, you know, COVID, we're going to talk about that now. So how's that affected your community here in Jamieson?
Look, we've had a pretty tough 3 or 4 years, actually. We've had a local guy, Bryce, who Sparky in town. Everyone knew him. He did everyone's electrical work. He loved to come up here and have a beer. He was hit by what we've been told, probably a spotlighter. He was walking home at night and killed, and that hurt the community. Everyone was, it was shocked us, everyone, for probably 12 months. Everyone's still feeling it today.
Of course.
And then a lot of people don't realise in 2020, COVID started about March-ish. We had the bushfires here, so that the whole town was in our most crucial time was evacuated, totally evacuated the whole of January. We had storms that came through when we first opened up again, which took all the power out in the whole town for the weekend. So that just went on. The poor Kevington pub up the road there, which is closed now, and that's a famous pub. It just absolutely shattered everyone. So now you've got COVID, of course, but it's funny, in a little town, people look after each other much more than down in the city. Everyone checks on someone. You're always checking on someone to make sure they're okay, whether they're old, whether they're young. We've got a few blokes in town who are single. We always make sure that we're talking to them, you know, because we know they're on their own.
Beautiful.
And it's been tough, and it's been tough everywhere. So Oh,
fantastic. And Well, not fantastic. That's actually terrible, but it's great that you know, you guys are branding together and you know, and looking out for people. And that's the main thing with mental health is, you know, chatting and looking out for everyone else, because sometimes the most positive people in the world, you know, they're going to get down and out. And that's where,
100%.
So that's fantastic that you're doing that, and that comes back to the hub. You know, at the pub as well. You as the public in here probably see most what people actually do from behind that bar, I guess.
Yeah, you've got to be a bit careful sometimes. But it's like it's there's a good one to run to, the bushfires when it was evacuated. There were some older people in town who just did not want to leave, and there was other people who didn't want to leave. So the thing was to come here. So if they got frightened or if they got anything, it was to come straight here. And that's what this place has been since it's been built. So
it's a safe haven.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, in the way of sport and that type of thing, 250 people live in the town. Are you able to get a football or a cricket team out of the whole lot, or not?
They did have a football team, which was pretty good back in the day, but because there were so many, the mining towns, Gaffney's Creek, a few of them had football teams. But that disbanded, I think, back in about the mid-60s, I'd say. Or, we've still got the football ground down there with the cricket pitch still there.
Rightio.
Occasionally they have some, you know, the old silly matches where, you might have the Lakeside pub back in the day, used to play the courthouse and things like that. And, but it's
sponsored by the pub, I'm assuming.
Oh, 100%.
Great.
But as for the sport, it's more in Mansfield now. The kids going there, but
Well, that's it. It's only 20 minutes up the road.
That's it.
To a certain extent. So so you just focus on the tourism side of things, I suppose.
We've tried. There's been a few things thrown around about the footy oval, trying to get because there's a lot of young kids in town now. To try and get a BMX sort of track made or something like that, just to because where it is, you can actually walk all the way from the caravan park all the way around without crossing a main road. So that was the thought, but but as for sport, that's about as a few horses get around town, but that's about it.
Okay.
There's probably a few go through this afternoon, maybe.
Right. Well, there you go, people. That's a draw card to come to a town. You probably don't see horses just wandering down the main drag too often. So. In regards to other establishments that are in the area, you know, is there men's sheds? Is there other community halls? And that type of stuff?
We've got our hall there, but that's sort of they do a what do you call it, ping pong? They do that there and some line dancing and things like that. But the older people love it; they absolutely get right into it. They've got the museum across the road here, which is extremely interesting.
Now we're talking.
Oh no, it's got some amazing stuff in there. Like at the front of the pub here, we've got the original press that it's half of it's out front here, I should say. The other half's in the museum, and that's the original press that did the Ned Kelly posters. So. So there's some.
Ladies and gentlemen, good reason to come to Jamieson if you love your history.
There's some great stuff over there. And a lot of good, smart people that work in there that let you know what's going on and what has gone past. So,
Beautiful. That's fantastic. So, got anything else you'd like to say? Or?
Not really. Just
I've sucked a lot out of you so far. I'm pretty happy with my efforts. But it's just rolled off the tongue for you, which is great. So you obviously love the area.
I do, 100%.
And
beautiful.
Never plan on leaving.
No, thanks. No.
So and you're here with your beautiful wife as well. You own the pub, and she's generational.
Yes, her family's been here forever, pretty much. Her family, the Hoskins, owned Mitchell's Creek, which. Out there, and they used to farm, I think it was either pigs or sheep, one of the two. But as time got by, it was too hard for them to stay out there. They moved into town and pretty much bought out the middle of town, and they are still here. They've still got a hideout house down the road here, and the father and the mum. And she moved up here 21 years ago after leaving here. And so same thing. It's just it's sort of hard. You have to go to town every now and then. I love my daughters. I go down and see them. But the moment I get to the fringes of town, I just think, what am I doing? You run into the traffic and you run into all the stuff. And you come out here and you dead set sigh. It's a breath of fresh air. I mean, it really is. But
it literally is. It's just that aroma about the area. It's just, it's so, like there's country and then there's this level. It's just, the air is so clean, and it's beautiful, and with the smell of the trees, and in the background, like, you got more birds you can poke a big stick at.
Oh God, yeah, it's one you can't hear in the background there. But
well, they were earlier, but they've actually quietened down so we could do this interview.
Yeah, they were on the money.
But everywhere, from rosellas to
king parrots. Yeah, you got the cockies. The kookaburras are amazing here in town. They have for a tiny town, it's one of the best Anzac services I've ever seen. And I used to go to a few in town, and including the big one. Obviously, the big one's the main one, but here is just eerie. It's just, and there's a little stone out over in the reserve across the road here from the pub, and it's the amount of people in the area that died in the war is just unfathomable. From a tiny little place.
Yeah, I did have a look at that earlier, and it's almost unbelievable. You know, how many people stood together from one little town. And it obviously shows the mateship that involved at the time. So,
oh, look, that's what the town and the locals all come together to make it all. They have a big gunfire breakfast. All the ladies come in and they'll do their bit, and I'm in awe of the place. It's just amazing.
I can totally understand that. I fell in love as soon as we drove in and had a look at the sign, and you see the trees. You go, geez, it's bloody beautiful here. That's for sure. Yeah,
you copped a good one too. A bit of snow in the hills nearby there from the other night. So
I missed that. So there you go. There's even more.
Ahead, So no, brilliant. Just we're missing people. We just love to get people back here. That's the hard thing. I get a bit emotional about it because it's been 18 months, it's just been a struggle, and the locals have helped, like you see tonight. They don't have to come here every night, but they'll come in and have a few beers to help out. Friday night's local night, where we get pretty much the bars full of local people, now 10, if that's all we're allowed to have, but those sort of restrictions hurt little towns like this.
Of course,
So, the younger blokes will sit outside, even if they're cold, so the older ones can sit inside, if you know what I mean? So,
and it's beautiful the way that people can adapt and have the respect, amongst the peers. So,
beautiful place.
So, last question. What does community mean to you?
Community means helping each other, respecting each other, looking after each other, and to me, it is the epitome of humanity. And I know that sounds big, but community hubs like this, you just don't see it everywhere. So it's, amazing.
No, it's beautiful.
Well,
thanks for that, Jeff.
No
really
worries.
appreciate it.
No problem.
And I would say if you're in the area, but no one's really in the area around Jamieson, make the effort to just drive that little bit more when you're cruising up the Marlborough Highway. Skip Mansfield, and come down here and have a bit of a look, because it is a beautiful place.
That's it.
Right, so I'm here with Jack and Darren. One's a local and one likes to call himself a bit of a local now. So, but we're sitting here in front of one of the oldest magnolia trees in the region, planted in about 1863. You told me about that fact, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Generally made that up, didn't we?
Oh, a little bit, but it's been around for a long time, this tree.
Beautiful. So, Jack, you're a young fella in Jamieson. What do you do around the area?
Oh, as much as I can. Go out, just explore the bit of beautiful country around here,
Oh, bloody oath it is.
Yeah. Oh, you can't go past it. Good bit of land, isn't it?
So, work-wise, I hear you're a brickie.
Yeah, work-wise in Jamieson, there's not a whole lot. Work-wise for me, but not far out of Jamieson, there's plenty of work around. So, it's good.
And Darren, you're working with him at the moment?
No, we're just mates.
Oh, you got your own thing going on there, right?
I'm just an import arborist.
Oh, beautiful.
Anywhere I go, mate, I meet top people like yourselves and Jack, mate. We've done some amazing things together. This place is just stunning, like.
I concur with that. Yeah, for sure. So, back to, you're a brickie. Is that how you got the little...
Oh, no, look, that's
we don't want to go into that story? Fair enough. So
that's a story for another time.
Fantastic. So how long have you been here for, Jack?
Whole life.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so all 19 years of my life. Yeah, so it's not too bad.
So family, generations and that type of stuff, or...?
Well, I'm pretty much second generation that's been here, so... been here long enough to love the joint. It's good.
Don't want to leave?
No.
One of those places once you're here.
Yeah, you're here,
That's
you're
it.
away from everyone, peace and
Yeah.
quiet, relax.
Oh, so you don't actually want the tourists coming back at all, do you?
No, not really.
It's
It's good. It's good for the businesses and all that, but
Yeah.
nah. I like it when
You
it's
like the
quiet.
serenity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when it's nice and quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, apart from the buzzing in the background from the fridge motor over there, there's the birds. That's
Yeah.
one of the things that I've noticed the most.
Oh.
It's bloody amazing, isn't it?
Mad wildlife.
Yeah.
The birds are just beautiful out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you get? We're not going to say stuck in Jamieson, but why'd you choose Jamieson?
Oh, Jack?
Yeah,
One.
I sort of dragged him down.
Oh, so
kept him in.
you guys
Yeah.
knew each other
Yeah,
beforehand?
of course.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I've just always on for the adventure. And
Yeah.
obviously on my times off through COVID, I haven't been allowed out.
Yeah.
But now that the regional Vic's open, it's all good.
Yeah.
So I'm out here and just enjoying it, eh?
Lovely.
Yeah.
And you're originally a Brisbane fellow.
Yeah, west of Brisbane, in
Yep.
between switching to Toowoomba. I'm down here for work.
So prior to coming here, you probably never wore a beanie before, would you? Being out towards Toowoomba, I'm guessing. But
Oh, it gets cold through winter, but it's
Yeah,
not,
that's
it's not,
true.
it's
Yeah.
not as crazy as down here.
No,
You know,
lovely.
Camping in my swag the other weekend, it's nearly snowing and it's probably minus something.
jeez, oh, you'd love that. So, boys, is there anything else you'd like to say? What do you love about the area, apart from the serenity and that sort of stuff, and obviously getting down the pub and enjoying a beer on a Wednesday?
Oh, it's just, everything's still a bit like old school.
Yep.
It's none of this, like, all the newer stuff's not out here. It's all stayed the same. Nothing's really changed.
So
out
it's a
here.
lot heritage
Yeah,
type.
yeah, like nothing changes out here. It's good, it all stays
Yeah.
the same.
Beautiful.
Don't have to put up with all this new stuff.
Yeah, that's
so
nice.
it's good.
Ah, there you go. So a good reason to come here. So, boys, what does the pub mean to you two, apart from a nice little meeting place that you can share your stories of the day?
Well, this is the first time we've been to the pub together yet, so that's why we're here, and that's why this pub means something to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So friendship?
yeah, friendship, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be.
Great meeting place.
Yeah, it is.
And finally, guys, what does community mean to you?
Everything,
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot.
just everything. Everyone getting together and just,
Working together.
working
do
together.
shit.
Yeah, beautiful.
100%.
And
Keeping the place same, like the same, not messing with the place. You keep it tidy and what the town is,
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree with that, Jack?
Yeah.
Or you got a little bit more?
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Just keeping it the same, everyone working together on
Yeah.
things and not wanting to change it up and sort of annoy anyone else.
You really do love this place,
Yeah.
don't you? And the way that it hasn't changed over many years.
Yeah, it's good.
I can respect that for sure.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much for joining us,
No,
guys.
that's all right. No
Thanks,
worries.
Jack.
No worries,
Darren?
mate. Thank you very much.
Go and enjoy a beer.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Will do. Thank
All right.
you.
So, a lot of people do say they're going to the boozer, but not many people actually get blessed with I assume it's a nickname.
Yeah.
Boozer.
Yeah, it is.
How are you?
Good, mate.
Beautiful. So, we nabbed you off the street, and
Yeah.
you got no idea what's going on here. You look a
No
little
idea
bit
what's
nervous.
going
So, we're just going to talk about you. You're obviously a local in Jamieson.
Yep.
Heard your name pop up a couple of times. So,
Legend around the place, yeah.
yeah, all right. Well, tell us more about
No.
the man, the myth, the legend.
No legend, no.
So how long have you been around the area?
All my life, 40
Yep.
years, 41 years.
Yeah, righto. And
Yeah.
you're some sort of a painter, I'm
painter.
guessing?
Yeah, I could have got changed for the occasion, couldn't I?
That's not your Sunday best?
No.
No, right, okay. So what do you love about the area the most? Why haven't you left?
Oh, it's the bush,
Yeah,
the pub,
yep, lovely.
Lambsy that owns the pub.
Yep.
I'm pretty keen on her.
Yeah, so you love the pub?
Yep.
What does the pub mean to you?
Oh, it's just somewhere everyone can meet up and have a few beers.
Yep. No, fantastic.
Yep.
Yep. And you've raised a family here, it looks like. We just
Yeah.
had to... The
A big
missus,
one.
Mrs. took the kid inside, kicking and screaming,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so the other one's holding the camera over there.
he's
So,
over there, yep.
so it's got to be in places in more than one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so, what do you guys love doing as a family around here?
Oh, I do a lot of deer hunting.
Yep.
Do that. The kids can run around, do whatever they want.
Beautiful.
I've been in the city and you're worried about getting knocked off by someone.
Yeah, rightio.
Yeah, so it's just a good place to live.
Yeah, lovely. So you got a bit of acreage and that sort of stuff out
No,
here?
I
or
just live
you
on a
just-
house block.
Yep.
So about an acre, I think it is, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, to people down in Melbourne and the cities, that probably sounds like a farm to a certain point. Yeah. So, but yeah, it is a beautiful area.
Yeah.
What would you say to people to bring them here and inject a bit of life into Jamieson? What would be the selling point to you, do you reckon?
The pub.
Yep. It always comes back to the pub, the hub.
The pub.
Yeah.
The people.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff.
It seems like a good community here. Like you've spoken to half the people that've been at the pub here already today, so everyone's quite inviting and.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Everyone just welcomes everyone.
Yep. But one last question then.
Yep.
What does community mean to you?
Oh, well, they have a social club here at the pub, and they have days where you'll go and the kids all come and you play games and muck around, all that sort of stuff, and it's just a good spot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks heaps for the chat, mate.
No worries at all.
Really appreciate it.
Good on you.
Cheers. All right, so we finally got the man that everyone's been talking about in the town. We got Billy here. You are the name. You are the person of the town, and I believe you did something pretty heroic back in 2006. Is that right?
It was a dog.
Hey?
Oh, on the 06 fires.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we were getting at there.
Yeah,
so.
I was pretty busy.
So I'm told by a few of the locals, Billy here, he almost single-handedly did all on your own back, putting out the fires and that sort of stuff. Is that?
I was kept pretty busy, yeah. We're all supposed to work together and just go from property to property and help each other out.
Yep.
But that plan didn't work, so I was left on my own. Yeah. Anyway,
pretty modest, aren't you? So, but you're born and bred.
Yeah.
Yep, in the area.
I was born in Sale, but I was at Woods Point when I was about 3.
Yep.
When my old man had the Woods Point Hotel.
Oh, beautiful. There you go. And so around the area, you've been a miner, I hear?
Yeah, 30 years.
Yeah. So how would it be, you were here this morning when there was a bit of a rumble on the ground. What was sort of your thoughts when that all sort of happened?
I thought some of the explosives went off.
Yep.
I must have lit the fuse, but still burning. Yeah. No, I had no idea what was going on, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've ever been moonwalking.
Oh, jeez. So you've been here majority of your life, apart from 3 years. So you can't claim it all. But what do you love about the town the most and the area?
I love mining. Yeah, I wish I could do it all over again, but I've had my fair share of injuries in mines, and now I'm pensioned off.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lovely area. We've got a nice property down out of Kevy, 5 acres on the Goulburn, so I think that'll see me out down there.
Oh, geez, I wouldn't be complaining about that at all. So you're here at the pub, the hub of the area. You know, what does the pub mean to you?
Oh, everything, of course. Well, you got to catch up with your mates, and we're already self-isolated out there, so I catch up with the guys. Kept the pub closed for a while. So.
Oh, that's it. So right at the moment, how are you dealing with things around here and the people? What are you seeing throughout your years of mining and community and all that sort of stuff? Like, what sort of differences are you seeing in the last 18 months or so?
Well, I just want to see the A1 mine get going and get down to the bottom of the shaft, because I'm the last man standing now that used to work at the mine back in 71. When I started there when I was 16, I've been there for a lot of years. And there's good gold at the bottom of the shaft, but the old timers couldn't keep the water out. And these people are declining down to it now, and they're not far away from it, but then they keep having little hiccups and they stop declining and all that sort of stuff. But I want to see them hit the bottom of the shaft before I move on.
Yeah. So that'd mean a lot to you, because you obviously spent a lot of your life down there, and it means a lot. So just to sort of see that and actually seeing some success, is that sort of what excites you a little bit, I suppose?
It would, yeah.
Oh, bloody hell.
That's something we've all wanted to see, get it down the bottom of the shaft there, but they're going to be in it for a surprise, the company that's got it now, because it's all virgin ground. They're playing around down there now where that mine's been raped probably about 6 or 7 times by different companies, you know. So they get down to the bottom of the shaft, it's all theirs, it's all virgin ground. And there's good gold ore in the bottom, so they'll hit the mother lode.
So you're saying jump in the share market and get involved in the company that has it at the moment, or? I'm kidding, you don't have to answer that.
No. We will, don't worry, I will.
Yeah, oh, righto. Heard it first here from Billy.
I've been up there a few times with the previous manager and pointed out a few directions where I used to work and where the good gold was. And he didn't listen to me, he went his own way, and I don't know why he called me down there. And so he called somebody else down there, and he went down there and said, "You got to go over here." And he said, "You're the second bloke that said that." And he said, "Who was the first bloke?" And he said, "Billy Scott." And he said, "Oh, why didn't you listen to him? He knows more about this mine than I do." And they ended up going there. That's when they hit that really rich gold at 14 level. And
yeah, right.
That got them really going then.
Bit chuffed about it that you were right, or?
Well, I worked on 14 and I knew what was left there.
Yep.
You know.
So about mining, a lot of people out there wouldn't know too much about it.
League mining,
tell us a bit about it. What's the excitement of it? What worries you, and what's something that people don't know about mining that you'd like to share?
Well, we've never had any decline mining up around here. You know, it's all been shaft and air leg mining. You know, not bulk mining. But they put a decline in an A1, which was the best thing to do because the shaft was all collapsed when it closed down for a long time, and so they put a decline down and picked up all the bad spots and all that before they got there by doing diamond drilling and all that, and then they started bulk mining, long hole drilling, and they were just taking out mulligan. They were getting big heaps of dirt but no gold.
Yep.
And I said to the manager, you've got to do air legging. It's narrow vein mining here in Victoria. And so they went to air leg mining. And that's when they started getting, you know, really, really good gold. They started getting kilos and kilos of stuff every week. Yeah.
So have you got a family and that type of stuff down at the mines?
We've got 2 boys over in Kalgoorlie.
Yep.
The one's in the mine and one's got his own business as a plasterer.
Yep.
And now he's gone to welding, but yeah, they're over in Kalgoorlie, and my brother's sister's up at Woods Point, and my sister's brother's up at Woods Point. Nearly Scottville up at Woods Point.
Right, there you go.
When we all worked at the Morning Star mine, they call it the, what was it? The Morning Scott mine.
So the family fairly entrenched in mining. You know a thing or two about it. So
yeah, I was brought up with the old miners. And if you're not keen enough to listen, they will not tell you anything. The old miners, they won't. So you'll learn the hard way. But I listened and had a good teacher, and I just wish I could do it all over again.
Oh, beautiful. That's a great story. So last question. Here in Jamieson, what does community mean to you?
I'm really from up around Woods Point Way and all that, and it's only since 2000 I've come to live down here, but you know, I know a lot of people here.
The people playing at home, how far is that from Jamieson?
Yeah.
Woods Point, how far would that be from here for the people playing at home?
6 W's, isn't it?
Would be about that. I tried it the other day.
You can't beat that as a response. That's brilliant. Yeah, back in 1972 it probably was, not anymore. But so community to you, what does it mean, Billy?
Yeah, it's good because that's the word. I don't know. It's all. It's good. It's good to have all that stuff together here down at Jamieson, and I like it down here now. I was stuck at Wood Point for quite a while until my house burnt down, and that got me out of there, and I moved down here, and it's probably the best thing I've done.
Oh,
really,
beautiful.
get me a bit further into civilisation, sort of.
Yeah. No, well, thanks heaps for chatting to us. It took a bit for everyone to twist your arm to get you out here, but I'm bloody glad you did, because you've told a couple of good stories there that a lot of people wouldn't normally hear. So thanks heaps for that, Billy.
No worries, mate.
Cheers.
Sure.
And you're adamant to bring that beer out, and you didn't have one sip of it in the end, did you?
Oh,
So I'm here with Marion, and you're actually the head of the Historical Society here in Jamieson. Is that what you...
Well, I was president for a long time,
Yep.
but I'm now vice president
Ah, righty-o.
as of a couple of days ago.
But you still got the keys to let us in, so...
That's right, I
thanks
still
for
got the key to the door.
Yeah, so we've had a bit of a look around here, and this, I believe this was an old church. Is that...
No, it's always a courthouse. But
Oh, right, yep.
Yeah, when it wasn't, it was used for the Presbyterian Church
Yep.
for a short time, but it was built in 1864, when a lot of Jamieson started in the 1860s, and it was a higher court than Mansfield at the time, and there was different, right up to Woods Point, all the way down, all the different people were tried in this court for different things, and unfortunately a lot of the records and things went back to the Public Records Office, so we don't really know who was tried here.
Yep.
Nobody famous that we know of.
Righto. But, so it's obviously a fairly big thing for the town to have a courthouse here, and, you know, in a small area that, at the time, how many people were living in the town? Do you know at that time?
Well, I came in 1985, and the population was probably only around 100, 140. It varies because full-time residents, and then you get a lot of part-time residents that have got holiday homes, so it's not clear just how many. There's be a few more now. Yep. But the courthouse was last used as a courthouse back in the 70s, and then it was left derelict, and this floor that we're sitting on here was all fallen in, and in a way the Justice Department were going to sell it off, and some of the locals got wind of that, and fantastic. They decided that if they said if we could, you know, fix it up and use it for something, that, you know, they wouldn't sell it off on us. So we formed the Historical Society back in the early 90s, and I wasn't part of it then. And the district nurse also uses the back rooms, and the doctor comes out once a week.
Still does today?
Yeah, it's just easy for him to come out and see some of the oldies for scripts and things, and saves them going in. I think he just likes to get away from Mansfield.
Fair enough too, yes.
But no, so it's well used.
Yep.
And now also we have the gallery in the other room, and they have part of the side where they've got a little nursery, and they open on the weekends too. Lovely. And we open the museum from about Cup Weekend to Easter, just on weekends and public holidays, just sort of run by volunteers. Lovely. We open up. So, and all this stuff is donated and from different people, and slowly grown.
So what's
we've got today.
There's quite a few attractions in here for people to have a look. What's your favourite, I don't know if you want to say ornament or attraction for people to come and see if they're in the area?
Not really a specific thing. Yep. It's just nice to know the history and talk to people about the history. Yep. One of the fun times was when we had our 150th, and there were so many people that came from near and far to meet here, and at one stage there was a whole heap of people in here and all chatting. People would just turn around and say, "And who are you?" And they'd find out they were related to someone. Oh, right. Because back in the 1860s, around that time, you know, a lot of people didn't go very far to marry someone, so a lot of them are related, and there's still people here today that, you know, like Wendy's family and things, and her husband's family that go right back to that time. So, yeah, it's got interesting history.
Yeah.
I just like the history side of things, just learning about stuff.
And passing on the knowledge that you've obviously picked up in the last
where I can.
30 years or so.
Yeah.
So you're obviously a local. You're a little bit different to others. Here you've got some cattle and that type of stuff.
Yeah, there's only like 2 farms that breed beef cattle in the area now, and we've had to get less and less because the land we were leasing has been sold off.
Okay.
And we're now a little bit more involved in the wine game. We've planted a few Chardonnay grapes, and my husband works in with Mount Terrible Wines next door.
Yep.
And we also run a holiday farm, Emerald Park Holiday Farm, just 2.5 k's up the road as well. So a bit of a mixed.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, you can give yourself a bit of a plug there, so
Why not?
that's where the tourists can come over and stay out there on the farm.
It's just another something that we've got in Jamieson.
Beautiful.
We've got a bit of everything in Jamieson.
I've come to realise that, to be honest. So, but thank you very much for the chat. And so, one more question for you. We ask this one of people a lot. What does community mean to you?
Everything, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's got your back, and you've got everybody else's back, and it's nice to be in a small community because it's just like a big extension of family, really.
Yeah. Correct answer. There's no wrong answer to that one. So well done. So thank you very much for that, Marion.
No worries.
And if you're in the area, well, not if you're in the area, when you come to the area, check out the Historical Society and head a couple of K down the road, and you've got some nice places there for people who have that really country feel. So beautiful.
Beautiful valley.
We've got Carmel on my right and Wendy on my left. We've already had a good yarn. It was hard to actually get away from having a coffee earlier, but you've both got some terrific stories about the area. I'm not too sure where to start, but you basically just feed off each other with these stories, and I might fade into the background. But I think one of the first ones is probably talk about the power. When power first came to the town, you sounded pretty excited about that earlier, Wendy, and there was actually a terrific story behind it. So over to you.
Oh, thank you. Yes, well, I first came to Jamieson in 1953, and the power was switched on in 1954. But my father was sent to Jamieson for that reason. But the power was actually half paid for by the mines because they needed the power to drive their machinery and, and the turbines and what have you. So, but that started my life in Jamieson.
Yep.
And, and I've been here for over 60 years. So, love the place. It's a beautiful place to live,
Yep.
Yeah.
What's the biggest draw card? Why haven't you left just yet, apart from having your best friend over on the right-hand side? Actually, your best friend, so I gathered that anyway. So.
Yeah. I think it's just the living, the country living. I love fishing, and I've got a big garden. I love the garden. I love I love the temperature. Not so much in the winter. I'm not a winter girl, but temperature. Just the beauty of Jamieson. Jamieson is a beautiful place.
It is, yeah.
It is. And they've got the rivers, which I love the water.
Oh, it is. And Carmel, how about yourself?
Well, I came here to live in 1984.
Yep.
My husband decided he wanted to come up to Jamieson and live. We had a holiday home in Harper prior to that. And we just sold up living downtown Melbourne. I'm a Melbourne girl, as he was a Melbourne boy, and came to live in the country, which was where our holiday home was located, but we bought in the next town, which was Jamieson, and we opened a restaurant. Oh. And it was a lovely old house. Anyway, we ran the restaurant for 8 years, and Milton passed away very suddenly from a heart attack. And I remarried, and it was just a wonderful friendship. It was an old friendship of a gentleman that had been a television promoter and producer from Adelaide. He'd come across to Melbourne with his wife to look after Ernie Sigley on the Channel 9 channels. And his wife passed away very suddenly, and he came to live in Jamieson just to get away. He didn't even know where Jamieson was, but he came up here. A wheel fell off his car on his way out. And,
did you have anything to do that?
No, he was a great friend of my husband's. And after Milton had passed, I was alone, he was alone, and I was running the business, and he just said, look, this is, you're lovely, I'd love to, be married to you if you would marry me. And I said, well, it sounds like a lovely idea because you're a nice bloke. And we were married, and he said, this restaurant's really, a lot of hard work, why don't we just go and play golf? So we played golf. I didn't play golf very well at all, but he was off too, so he played very well, covered for me all the time. He also was a director of what he started as a theatre group in Jamieson. It was called Jamieson on Parade. Quite by accident, he was working for a newspaper in Mansfield, the Courier, and he was picking up some copy for an advertisement. And the ladies that were working in the hotel, the kitchen and the cleaners, and they were all sitting around after lunch in the hotel. And he walked in and said, what are you lot doing sitting there? And said, oh, we're all bored. And they said, what are you doing? He said, I'm going off to tap dancing classes. Which of course he was not, he was going off to the office. And the girl said, well, we'd like to do that. He said, okay, you get your classes and I'll get a dancing teacher for you. There was a local lady living in town who was a tap dancing teacher. The whole thing gelled, and then when they had enough numbers that they'd practiced, rehearsed and danced to, they said, well, what can we do with it? So he just said, right, we'll put on a production. So Wendy is an actress, a fabulous actress.
Yes,
there was
I hear this.
Talent in this town.
Plays a very good school teacher,
doctor,
don't she?
Assistant and nurse, a district nurse. She's a fabulous actress. And there were singers and dancers in town that we knew nothing about, but they all got together, formed this company. He directed it. We ran it for years and years. At the pub, at the Lakeside Hotel, they built a stage, and it just became an annual event where people came from Melbourne and who had holiday homes here, made sure they were here during that period when the shows were on. And we raised a lot of money for charity, which was, we needed to do something with the money, so it all went into charity. And then Tria passed away 8 years later, and we ran one show, which was a show in memory, and it was the best of. And it went for about 8 hours. So the audience had their money's worth, for sure. But it was such a terrific occasion, and we closed it. We haven't done anything since. But we keep on talking about, maybe one day we will, but there's so much activity in this town. We have so many active groups. We have ladies, men line dancing. There's no tap dancing going on at the moment. The tap dancing teacher left town. She wasn't doing that at the time, she left town. And we have so many different groups. We've got a CFA. The volunteers in this town, I think, are extraordinary. And the community is very cohesive. We have a group of craft ladies that have been meeting for over 20 years. They meet every week and they welcome people all the time, and they constantly get requests from different societies, hospitals, for making up bags for Children's Hospital. They've also just completed 250 finger puppets for the Deaf Society, for Deaf Children's Society, I should say. And they met that commitment, and apparently this helps children to get more confidence. They can converse. It's like having new teddy, I suppose, but having a finger puppet, they converse with each other, and I think that's a fabulous idea.
That is, that's beautiful.
Things, so. And of course this group here at the museum, they're all volunteers, they man the museum every week right through the summer period, and we have a group of local ladies that have formed a company, and they've opened up the gallery on Nash. Now Nash Street is a street that runs past, this was originally our courthouse. It's now our museum. It runs past here, and it's at the back. It's one of the back storerooms that we've opened up as a gallery, and we've got some beautiful artists, from glass art to pottery. We have a pottery teacher and a group of ladies that do pottery every week. Wendy is a potter. She makes some magnificent, beautiful plants for pot.
Mine's mostly sort of handmade stuff. I'm not into the wheel, but yeah.
But you do still work with the pottery people.
I do.
Yes, and it's amazing. So people come from Mansfield, which is the bigger town out of Jamieson, and it's again creates a cohesion within the communities. So we've got a fabulous couple at the caravan park, Francie and Tom, with a very young family. The children are in preschool age, and they're doing such terrific things here now. They've been here a couple of years and have just built the business, and it's changed, of course. And they've got some fabulous innovative ideas. just successfully canvassed and through the community group to have a whole new walkway built around our Jamieson River, and that's starting at the end of this year. It's a 2-year progress, so that'll be a project, I should say, and it's a $260,000 project being funded. So I just, you know, they work very hard behind the scenes as well as doing what they do. And our shop, our general store, during the COVID, it's been terribly hard for all people in business. Most people haven't been able to run their businesses. Even the small bed and breakfast businesses, and Marion's hosting from her farmhouse accommodation. It's been so limited, it's been sporadic, and we've all had short notice, but we've just had to bite the bullet and go on. Keep a smile on your face and keep your sense of humour. I think it's a local idiom. But our general store's been a wonderful mainstay. We've been able to buy our newspapers and our groceries. If we run out of something, we shoot around to the store. They're very obliging and have kept a really bright face on. And the publicans, they haven't been able to run the pub, neither have the people at the brewery been able to run their brewery. So there's a lot of social discontent from the point of view that we can't entertain. We can't meet in groups and have our parties, go to the pub for a drink. But it will come back. People are doing it tough all over, and I think if we can just keep a smile on our faces, the sun comes out and we can think, well, you know, we're in a great location. And there are people doing it very tough, but I think the community knows who to look after and who to talk to, and not dominate the conversation.
No, well said.
I'm a chatterbox.
I was happy to listen to the whole lot, because you have summed up exactly what this community is about, and people joining together from different areas. We've spoken to so many different people that, you know, their points of view are a little bit different, but everyone seems to know what everyone else is doing
without knowing their
helping.
business.
Yeah.
It's an extraordinary community in that respect. It's
very close.
Yes,
That's right.
It's wonderful. And also we've got a big weekend this weekend with a premiership. My husband.
Here we go. We're going to name drop here. Yeah. This is pretty big. Yeah.
He played in the 1964 Melbourne team, Brian Dixon. He's played in 5 premierships in Melbourne. And of course,
amongst royalty here.
But we're not allowed to go and visit anyone, and no one's allowed to come and visit us. So we're going to be at home with a glass of red and a glass of champagne.
So we're going for Melbourne, aren't we?
Absolutely.
We all have to now, don't we?
The other day we were at a medical clinic in Mansfield just for a short visit, and whilst I was with the nurse, Brian was sitting waiting for me in the waiting room, masked up, and 3 ladies came over and said, "Brian, we're all Collingwood supporters, but we're going to barrack for the D's on Saturday."
Go D's.
Go D's. Go D's.
So, Wendy.
Yes.
Okay, so you told a story a little bit earlier. You're pretty passionate and actually love telling the story. I wish we got the footage then, because you told it so well. It's about how do you say that word? Escapees. Escapees.
Yes, actually we did have escapees when Butterley and Gibb and Parker. Now Parker was actually the prison warden, and she broke them out of prison, and they escaped to Jamieson, or just up the road here.
And that was out of Pentridge.
And yes, and anyway, the day that they were sighted and seen, and the police were on the go, I was mowing the grass, and the helicopter was hovering directly above me, and I didn't know what was going on, but then I realised what was happening. So I raced down to the town with my camera, of course, and took a lot of photos, and filmed them taking the Parker out of the car and into the police station. It was very exciting. Ambulances, helicopters. It was just very exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Yeah. So that was just one of my.
Yeah.
Got a lot of photos of it, and then they brought the film crew to town, and they filmed One Way Ticket in Jamieson, which is the film of the outbreak of the from prison and capturing of Parker, Gibb and Butterley.
So there you go, fair bit of history in the town there you got to be part of.
Yes.
I love the fact that, you know, there's criminals around, the police are after them, the helicopter's there, so your first thought is, get the camera, run into town, and I want to see this.
Yes, definitely.
So
always camera at hand. Always camera at hand.
Well, that's it. It's a great story to tell now, isn't it? So, ladies, last question. What does community mean to you two?
Oh, it's vital.
Yeah.
Community is together, holding each other up. I've been supported, as I said, I've been widowed twice, and the community have been there to nurture me through disasters. You wouldn't believe it happens to other people. It doesn't happen to you, but when it does, the community's there for you. And I've still got the rose bush you gave me when nothing died. So the community have been fabulous for us.
Oh, beautiful.
And supported us, because we came up here to run a restaurant.
Yep.
And it was supported by the community the whole time we ran it. It was wonderful. It's fabulous nice.
Community to me means everything. I think Jamieson, the people in Jamieson mean everything to me. There's no, animosity between people. Everyone's out to help each other.
Yep.
I'm a good Indian, I'm not a good chief.
Okay.
So if there's a job to be done and somebody tells me to do it, I will do it. But as for being committee, like the president, secretary, treasurer, it's not my go.
No.
But I am more than happy to help out.
I get that, and that's what you need in communities. You know, everybody banding together, everyone has a role, I suppose. And
We just think it's so natural, it's normal.
beautiful. Well, thank you very much, ladies. We've had a good old chat here. We've got the old lock-up, and I'm told that a lot of people don't particularly like going in there, but because
Have a look in the little door.
it's almost haunted, they say. So let's have a look in here. Oh, there's a face staring at you. That actually scared the living bejesus out of me. So we can't actually go in there. Oh, you can. Oh, we got the magic key here. All right.
Probably have to do it for you.
Oh, okay. All right, here we go. Got the lovely Marion here that looks after the place. And here we go. There
Head on a stick.
Yeah. Bloody head on it. Look at that. Oh. What do you reckon, puppies? It's not too bad. It's not that eerie in here. Don't you leave, dog. Don't you leave me alone in here. All right, let's lock her up and see. Oh, yeah, so it's just me and old Jeffrey, eh? Yeah, so what do you reckon? Bunked up together? Good little spot here, but... so it's a lock-up. At least you've got enough room to lie down. It's, quite homely, I dare say. You've probably got enough room to not do much. So maybe don't do the wrong thing so you won't get locked up in a place like this, but...
Bye. I'll bring you dinner.
Last-ditch effort to see if the puppies will go for a genuine swim. Stick, river, usually works. There you go. Oh! You're getting swept away, puppies! Oh, you've lost the stick now. Oh, you're onto it. Good puppies. All right, we're gonna have to really run now too. Come on, puppies, you can do it. You can do it. Oh, yeah, good puppies. Very good puppies. Oh, so proud of you. Not anymore, I'm not. No. And this is the Jamieson store. There's a lot of, older stuff in here, and that's what we love, You got the old tin on the walls, bit on the roof. But it's a one-stop shop, really, isn't it? That's why they call it a general store, because it's where you just get your general items, I suppose, isn't it? Obviously, when you come to Jamieson, you're going to have no choice but to pop in here, because it is the one-stop shop. And if you're coming in summer, it's also where you get your ice creams, obviously. I'm going to wrap it up now. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that, so I'll just say, catch us later.